هذه دمشق وهذه الكأس والراحة.
Syria, a land of history, culture and resilience, a crossroads of civilizations where ancient ruins whisper tales of empires past and vibrant cities bustle with the heartbeat of modern life. For centuries, Syria stood as a beacon of culture, art and innovation. It's home to Damascus, the oldest continuously inhabited capital in the world, a city that has witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations, serving as a living chronicle of a human history. Yet for over a decade, this land has been a symbol of suffering and loss. What began in 2011 as a hopeful uprising inspired by the Arab Spring was met with violence and repression, plunging Syria into a devastating civil war. A war that displaced millions, scattering families across the globe and leaving their homeland in ruins.
Much more is needed, and without comprehensive sanctions relief, Syria's transition remains uncertain.
But now, after 14 long years in exile, some are daring to dream again. In this documentary, I follow the journey of 5 individuals who fled Syria. Each has lived a life in exile.
My life. This is something I cannot describe.
Carrying the weight of loss, but also the hope of return.
I am from Damascus.
I am from Aleppo.
I am from Tartus.
City of Jasmine.
Now, as Syria turns a new page, its people face the daunting yet hopeful task of rebuilding their nation and reclaiming their identity. This is the story of their resilience, their struggle, and their hope for a brighter future. December 8, 2024 marked a new dawn for Syria. After 14 years of war, the Assad regime fell. For millions of Syrians, it signaled hope, but for others, it reopened wounds of loss and exile.
Even, when they say freedom for Syria, that day, everybody happy. I was crying all night. Crying all night. Oh, coming back, everything coming back. You're my best friend here.
Muhammad's story began 3 decades before the Arab Spring, in January 1981, when the Assad regime, under the rule of the father, arrested him at just 17 years old. His crime? Simply being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Every step I came down, there is soldier in the steps. So in the total is, you could say 50 guard. But what I noticed is not just me. Every young person in my area being taken, there is car tire. They will put the car tire at your legs and then your head, and then they will flip it, and then your legs and your leg and the handcuff. You'll be absolutely stuck and start hammering on my feet.
He ended up in Sednaya prison, where the sound of torture was torture itself. He was stripped of his name and given a number 13. His life became a cycle of torture, hunger, and fear. After his release, he was conscripted into the army for 4 years. Later, he secured a job as a chef for the ambassador of New Zealand in Syria, a position that came with trauma.
He said, "Do you want to go downstairs again?" I said, "No, I haven't done nothing." He said, "Okay, you have now to write down for me. You will be spy for us out, our eyes out. Agree?" I said, "I agree." He said, "Sign it." Sign it. This signature, 24 hours I've been left country for good. Never come back. Never come back.
Really sorry.
Now living in Wales, Muhammad's connection to Syria is limited to these 3 photos he showed me, a precious link to his homeland and the 18 years he spent in exile.
There's a church on the left corner of my house, and there's mosque on the other corner. I don't know until now why I've been taken. I don't know.
For millions of Syrians, exile meant survival. Families scattered across the globe, dreaming of the day they could return home. And Muhammad has been waiting for 46 years.
what's so-called Muslim Brotherhood and the what's so-called security forces started to torture everybody in Syria. Nobody was safe from them. It is not only a person. He ruled Syria by torture and making people very, very afraid of everything. In Syria, we have a saying, walls has got ears, so nobody can speak. I came by my own, carrying only one bag. Now I am those people.
Still holding onto the Syrian passport he used to come to the UK over 4 decades ago.
Because my name was put onto the wanted people. Until now, I am wanted.
Becoming a refugee is not something you plan for. It's a label that changes everything and nothing at the same time. For Amal, even the name of this restaurant on City Road, meaning Damascus Nights, brings her comfort. She's from Aleppo, a city that once bustled with life, but became a battleground. Amal came to Cardiff to study, but the chance to return home never came.
I was feeling very, very homesick, so I went and visited. And I could already feel like, things were changing for me. I could already feel like I'm losing my connection to my home. And even though I was very homesick, part of me didn't want to leave home ever again. And part of me didn't want to go back ever again. I was torn very early on. And then my father, I remember, he held the remote control, stopped the TV, paused the TV, and he turned to me and said, "Our turn is next. And, should anything happen, just forget you have family here. And, just focus on your studies." And I was like, why must he always be so dramatic, We're fine, nothing is going to happen.
But what happened next cost her 17 years in exile, the loss of her father, and a refugee stamp on her documents.
It was just a lot of struggle, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of not knowing, where we're headed, and a lot of feeling displaced, not having your home stuff with you. My family had to live with whatever they could carry. And it got to a point where we couldn't believe that it will ever end.
And Mamdouh had been looking forward to establishing a new life in Syria after returning from Ukraine as a doctor. However, in a country like Syria under the Assad regime, no one was truly safe. Like many others, he longed for a bit of dignity and freedom. Together with his brother, a pharmacist, they began treating injured civilians during the violence in 2011.
Many people were injured. We start help them. And for that, as you know, the government, Assad regime, traced us. Even my brother, he was injured in his pharmacy because they got information he is helping people.
The need for economic relief has never been more urgent. Nearly 14 years of conflict have destroyed Syria's infrastructure, leaving essential services like housing, medical facilities, and the power grid in ruins.
But in Syria, under the Assad regime, helping people was a crime they could never tolerate. Forced to leave everything behind, he had to flee once again, this time for good.
Very difficult period in my life because, for me, honestly, the time stopped in 2011.
Here's another story with the same pain. In July 2000, Dr. Sameh came to Cardiff to study for a master's and PhD. And the last time he was able to visit Syria was 2006.
18, 19 years, never been in Syria. And it wasn't safe for me to go back again for political reasons, for military. I had to go to military, so I decided I can't go back.
Our life in Syria, it was difficult because my father passed away or killed by Assad regime in 1981. And after that, my mom arrested been arrested for 4 years. And after that, when I came here, and it was good for me after that, like they said, is why our family is like in the blacklist in Syria.
Do you feel more Syrian or more Welsh?
At the moment, I feel more Welsh because I've been living here for my whole life. But when I get back to Syria, maybe I can feel more Syrian.
And when the hope of returning home was almost gone after 14 years of civil war, the news finally came.
الساعة الآن 6:18 تماما.
December 8, 2024. A date that will never be forgotten. Over 50 years of the Assad rule, one of the most brutal dictatorships in the world, has come to an end. President Bashar al-Assad has fled the country and the capital has been liberated. Syrians across the world took to the streets, celebrating what they describe as the fall of the Syrian Berlin Wall.
Syria is free, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, no, this is, even now, as I mention it, like, my hair is standing. You can't see it, but, I can feel the hair, my hair is standing.
Until I go back to Syria and stand on the ground in Syria and stand on Bashar or Hafez al-Assad picture on Syria, I will know I am free. Otherwise, maybe not.
I am over the moon. I felt that Syria will be back again to us, to Syrian people.
I feel like born again.
We couldn't believe it, and we still think we are in a dream. We don't know whether this dream, inshallah, will continue, of course.
How do you feel about the return home after 46 years?
Indescribable. This is something I cannot describe.
To Syrians, Damascus is the city of jasmine, a timeless symbol of love, beauty, and resilience. Even after 14 years of war, it remains the city of jasmine, and every Syrian I've spoken to shares the same conviction. Together, hand in hand, they will rebuild it. They are determined to restore what was lost. Soon the jasmine will bloom again, filling this ancient country with hope, rebirth, and renewal. Rebuilding Syria will take time, but so will rebuilding their sense of home. From Wales to Syria, the road home is long, but for Syrians, it's a road worth taking. The fall of the Assad family is just the beginning. The journey home starts now.